Hello, how's it going, my friends? This is Dave FX Hunter here, and we are going to look for the Forex market, what to expect in the next following week from the 30th April to the 4th May. So we are looking to the dollar index, and so what happened? We had this 2 weeks rally up when we finally approached to this daily supply zone as well, nested with this weekly supply zone. So that means that I expect now some short-term reversal. However, we have on the Wednesday the FOMC. So what I think is the play now, as on this 4 hours chart, we have this supply zone removed, and what the retail traders mostly doing when they see something rallying, they jumping up for the longs on the top. So right now we could potentially see some reversal, and on the Wednesday, whatever the news will be released on the FOMC, if they rise the interest rates or not, I believe that the dollar strength will be coming up as well. So what does the COT data say? So COT data says that we can see that they reduced longs last week, and they actually reduced the shorts as well. So by the closing the shorts and reducing longs, they did this a little bit up as well in the continuation of the trend. So this week, we have a lot of news about every currencies, but you know what I think about the news. It's all the blah blah blah, and the market will does what it has to do. So yes, this week we have the FOMC, and the Friday is the NFP, which will affect the dollar price for sure, but I don't expect any big drama. The gold is weekly on the uptrend, approaching to this weekly supply zone, where it's actually for quite while we are in this range, which is here for a couple weeks. It's still trying to penetrate it up to break it, but however without the success. And what we see now, so this is it, this is this consolidation zone. And what do I see here is that we had this nice rundown from this supply zone newly created, and we are now testing this demand zone, which was tested a couple times, and I believe it will be broken. And why do I think that is? For one simple reason, because if we look for the COT data, we can see something interesting. Yes, so we can see that when the market was rallying up, we've been actually here on the last year, we've been very aggressively longs, around 300,000 longs when the market was doing this uptrend. Yes, and then in this from the January and the February, you can see here it's where was the February. So February and January we are here in this consolidation, and we actually can see that we are still offloading from these longs, so they reduced in the distribution zone. They went from the 300,000s to the 225,000s. Yes, so this is what tells me that I don't think that the market wants to go up now, so I see, and as well what we see here, we can see that last week we had reduced from the 237,000 to 225, and the shorts was added from the 74 to 89, so reducing longs and adding shorts is telling me that we could possibly go much lower. And how I believe that this move will happen is that we will go up to this supply zone. It's here, this one, so we can go up, and then we can continue much lower to penetrate this one. Here as well could be some obstacles created, and then this potentially can happen. So I will be waiting with the shorts around this area. Aussie, on the weekly chart, we are definitely in the uptrend, because we have a higher high, higher low, and again the higher high, which is higher than this one. So this is the uptrend, so this is the correct trend line. And now we are on the daily downtrend, approaching into this weekly supply zone. as well, which is the nested with this one on the daily, and here's some 4-hour zone as well. So this all tells me that we could see potentially some reversal. However, I in the long term expect the Aussie go up a lot of higher, but for now as the dollar is strong, so I believe that the move up could be just the limited, maybe into this daily supply zone, maybe just into the here. And what does the COT data says? We can see that while the market was moving lower, this Tuesday candle is representing this data, so we can see that the market makers, they added more shorts from the 39,000 to the 52,000, so it created this push down. And however, they've been adding the shorts, as we can see. They as well added the shorts. You can see from the 29,000 to the 49,000. So what that means, that while they're going down, they actually as well they expect a move up. So I will be looking for the longs. This is probably the only one pair which I will be trading against the dollar with the long term, maybe the long term to hold it for the going up. So let's see. Euro USD as well, very similar. So we had this consolidation which is now broken down, and I expect the retest and the continuation down. I don't know where. I will just hold it, because we have the positions with my team somewhere here as well. We closed one here, and now we are already something like 350 pips in the profit, and I will be looking to add another position, maybe 2 positions. It depends how high it will go. And on the 4 hours we can see that we are reacting from this demand zone. So let's see what's gonna happen here. I will not be taking the longs, and I don't advise it anyone, maybe just into this zone, because it's against the strong trend as well. On the weekly we have broken trend line and full body candle closed below the trend line. This is strong signal about the sentiment changing, And what we can see on the COT data, so we can see that actually, as well very similar. So in the January, when we have this uptrend, when we have this, so the market makers was around 260,000 positions longs and 100,000 shorts. And while they've been moving market up and down, they have to do it because they was closing the longs. You can see always when they reduced the longs, it was on the tops, because they want to close everything for the good price, So they've been, when you can see that they added here, you can see that they have 227, so they rise to 239, So they probably, it was on the 6th March, it was something here. So they probably added longs here, they move it up, and then they closed the longs as well, So they added 10,000 and they closed 20,000, So they manipulating the market like this, so they can be closing the positions here on the top. They don't wanna take these longs and close them here, they closing them here. So that's why they manipulating, because they of course always need the other side. So when they closing longs, someone has to take these longs, So this is why they as well, they use the news and they drawing all these formations, all these head and shoulders and ABCD and whatever bullshits or whatever. So we can see, let's come back into it. So we can see that they reduced it from 238 to the 2016, which is like 20,000 down, and the shorts, they didn't change it, just 1,000, it's like nothing. So when this happened, it was the Tuesday, it was this candle represented here, and they moved it down here like this, and they didn't make it by the adding shorts, but they make it by the closing longs, So it's high probability that they will come back and they will close more longs and they add more shorts and they will start a proper trend. This is what I expect, and let's see if it will happen. Looking at the pound is this, you know, all these dollar pairs are very similar, you know, pound as well, this consolidation, now breaking lower. However, here is still this supply which must be removed, and I think it's gonna happen because as well we have this whole body candle on the weekly closed below this trend line, so it's officially broken. But it doesn't mean that we have already downtrend on the weekly, you know, because okay, we have a broken trend line. What that means? It doesn't mean that we have already downtrend. It means that we are in the consolidation. So if we broke the trend line, so on the weekly we are still consolidating. If we break lower, we have a broken consolidation. But for the confirmation of the downtrend, what I need you know, what is the definition of the downtrend? It is that we have a lower low, lower high, lower low. So when this happens, then I can draw the trend line. Can I draw the trend line now? No, I can't. So I don't have a downtrend yet. I have only the broken trend line, and now we are in the consolidation phase. When this demand zone is removed, it's something different. Okay, so what happened here? Very similar, as I said, it's broken, and I expect now the retest up for these zones, you know, where potentially could be taking the shorts, which is on the daily somewhere here as well. If we look to the data, so here we see something very interesting. Look at this. So what I see here, you know, as well, we're going up, and we've been around the 90,000. Then they went to the 60,000, and again moving up and down. And this is very interesting. You know, last week someone posted in some group or on Facebook, I saw something, you know, like this. You know, look at this. So they've been long 113,000. You know where it is? It's actually here when they've been manipulating market price up. And then as well you can see how the media cooperate with the banks, you know, because the banks, it's one big mafia, you know. So they are actually been on the Bloomberg. They've been saying, you know, you can look here on the net positions, you know, you can check this. They've been saying, you know, the pound, the biggest net positions about from the last year or something like that, you know. And what was happening on the chart? The chart was actually the breaking higher, you know, the high, you know. So what the retailers mostly do, okay, on the Bloomberg they say there is the biggest net positions, market is breaking, you know, so they've been taking the longs. And what happened then is, you know, so this is how they cooperate, you know. And yeah, so they these numbers, you know, it's for me it's very valuable information, but I as well must look at the chart. I must look at the supply demands analysis. I as well must look at the volume, you know, which I'm checking as well, which tells me a lot of informations. So this is the informations which are like the behind, and it gives you more clue what is going on the market. And this is how I think that the market works. It's not any formations, any these bullshits, but pure these things, you know, the supply and demand. This is the things what move the market. This is the rule of the market, not any indicators and other bullshit. Okay, anyway, looking at the kiwi, so as well we have consolidation. This is like all the pairs, you know, consolidating, and now I expect the market doing something like this. So we have on the weekly, we had this downtrend, which was the broken, but didn't create that new, you know, didn't create something what I need per the rules to draw the trend line. So this was all this was on the weekly, actually the consolidation, because I could draw the trend line if this candle closed just one pip above this one, you know, then I can draw the trend line like this. But it didn't. It wasn't above this one. So if it is not trend, I call this just a bullish movement, you know, it's bullish movement, but not uptrend. Of course, on the daily, it is the uptrend, you know, it was the uptrend, but I deleted this trend line because this one is now updated for me. So I have what I have on the 4 hours downtrend, on the daily is a downtrend. This is the overextended leg, and now should the retest come, but this structure is not clear for me because I don't have any levels here which could work. Okay, I see them on the 4 hours, but not so clearly, not any, you know, strong level. Maybe this one could be strong because this is the level where this is the level where was the power accumulated to remove all these supply demand zones, you know. So it could be just right above here to, you know, to take a short for the continuation to this weekly and monthly nested demand zones where is a lot of orders waiting to be filled. So let's see with this one. So this is the USD JPY. We have a weekly downtrend because we have a lower low, lower high, lower low, and now we have this bullish impulse into this weekly supply zone. And daily we are on the uptrend because we are making the higher high, lower low, lower high, higher high. But right now we are as well in this strong supply zone on the 4 hours, in the supply zone, and as well the uptrend. But what I expect now is definitely some correction, and what as well gives me the clue, because if we look into this supply zone and we check the volume, we can see that here is the volume in this candle. This is where the market makers enter the games and they will protect their positions, and I believe that the push lower could come at least into this area around 107, so something like that could happen. But okay, weekly we have a downtrend, but you know, this daily trend is already strong, and I believe it will continue up. So I will be shorting potentially, but not with the big positions, you know. If I book against the trend, counter trend, it's definitely good to go with the smaller position. And what the COT data says, that we can see that we have long positions added from the last week, and we have a short positions added even higher. So there was effort to push price higher with this adding the longs, and as well the higher they've been adding the shorts because they probably want to short it lower. So let's see. This is the US CAT. So what we can see here, we have a weekly uptrend. Below it's a fall below this supply zone, however moved lower, and here we have this demand zone which is now in the control and moving price higher. However, here is this bullish engulfing candle which is now slowing the price lower. Here is not supply, here's not zone which I could draw, but I have this bullish engulfing candle. However, on the daily I can see this strong bullish impulse up into this supply zone. It's not trend on the daily because, as I said, I need to see this, you know, I need to see the lower high and higher low, sorry, and which didn't happen here. So it's for me just the bullish impulse up, but it's not just, it's of course the big movement. I made a lot of money here on this movement, and we still holding nice positions. On the 4 hours it's uptrend because we have this, what I said that we want to see, and now we can see this consolidation below this supply zone and breaking the trend line. So as I said, I would like to see some correction and then continuation up. So when this happen in this chart, could happen then this, something like that, and moving higher, which creates what I need to have an uptrend and moving here. Overall, I expect the market to move to 133, which is somewhere here, and it's a lot of pips inside, and we still can have positive swap, which means that the broker will pay you for the holding the position. Be sure that you check that you have positive swap on this pair, because some brokers are not fair and they're not paying it. If you don't have it, check the links below the video. I have there are links for the good brokers. And looking to the COT data, look at that. So what do we have? We have we can see that the last couple weeks there was the positions for the long rising, so they've been actually rising the positions here, and then while we moving up, they are reducing them, which was on the Tuesday, which is here. This candle, the positions was reduced, but not adding the shorts any correctly. So this is just the profit taking, you know. So they was building the positions, you know, the last week. So they've been doing something like long, you know, then moving the up, and they closed some longs here, you know, maybe they closed these, you know, and now they didn't add any shorts, they even closed the shorts, you know. So I expect that they will move market lower, where they will be potentially adding the another longs. Yeah. So this is the USD CHF, USD franc. So weekly we have a broken downtrend. Yes, here is the downtrend on the weekly, which then we saw the strong bullish impulse which went through this trend line. But right now we are reacting on this trend line, which is the monthly trend line. If you look this way, so this is the monthly trend line where we are now reacting as well with these supply zones. So this confluence of the monthly trend line, these strong supply zones above, maybe we could go lower, and the daily we have an uptrend, nice uptrend in the supply zone, a lot of supply above, you know, 4 hours as well, the uptrend with a strong bullish impulse, and we are now in the supply zone. What the COT data says, I think, if I remember well, we are very strong bullish. So we can see the last week we had that sorry, we have a, you know, a lot of positions here, these ones, where they've been adding these positions through this all these weeks. They've been still adding the positions, and last 2 weeks, when this strong push up through this trend line, you know, they add even more. However, they've been adding the shorts as well, so they've been already preparing to take a short, you know. So now I believe that we could potentially see the retest lower, maybe on this. If the market dropped into this supply zone, I will definitely buy here, because looking to the COT data, you know, okay, this is the numbers, but if I look to the percentage, 63% long, 37% short, so it's very strong for me, you know, to go long. So I will definitely enter this market for the long, but question is where, you know. I don't want to buy here, you know, on the top. I won't see the correction, and then I will go against this, because now the market is exhausted, you know. We had this strong bullish impulse. Look how many weeks we've been going up, you know. We still didn't see one bearish candle. This is the first bearish candle on the daily after, you know, 2 weeks, something like that. After 2 weeks, first bearish candle. but it has to come, you know, so they need to accumulate more power to go through this. So for now I will wait the market to drop, and if I will see some nice bearish activity, then I will might short it with small position. But you know, I don't want to be going against this. This is just crazy, you know, fighting the market.